I'm literally just kind of holding the car on track and trying to guide it where I want it to go. It's kind of doing its own thing a lot of the time. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome along to Project Hell and Project Cars. Today we're driving the Ford Escort Mark 1 RS 1600. I have to look at the sheet to remember what car I'm driving. Now, I have done a couple of attempts at this car already. I've learned a couple of lessons, and that is, this thing does not like aggressive driving at all. So I gotta be a bit careful with the brakes and the throttle. And it's a car that teaches you the absolute basic #1 rule of motor racing, which is get your braking and shifting done where possible in a straight line. Because if you don't, it'll bite you hard. That's why I'm kind of straightening the car out in places and taking some odd lines, because the car does not like turning and braking at the same time. It overloads the tires and they let you know it very quickly. So it's not a car to go very quickly, but it's a car that'll bite very quickly. I'm not gonna intentionally demonstrate the biting bit, but I can guarantee you if you start getting a bit too aggressive with this, it will... Okay, I was a bit too aggressive on that curb. I almost accidentally showed it off. So I know I'm taking some odd gear choices. I think this thing only has 4 gears. I haven't got it up into 5th yet. So if it does have a 5th, it's a very long 4th. I'm just kind of a bit cautious of the curbs. A bit cautious of everything in general, because this car bites like it just did. Don't know if you saw that, but the car did start to spin out and I just rescued it very quickly. It did do a half spin there, but that kind of helped me get around the corner, so I don't mind it spinning into corners. It's spinning on the way out that's an issue, especially in this area. This is the area that I want the car to be kind of stuck to an extent. So I'm doing a bit of trail braking into corners. And contact. Okay. Let's try again. Number whatever it is. I don't even know what attempt it is anymore. I'm just gonna go for it. Ah, I already invalidated the lap. Never mind. There's some places where you cut here and it gives you a double invalidation. Which isn't exactly ideal. Because you want to be on the limit of grip constantly and on the limit of legality about 90% of the time. And that was not a good example. There we go. Cars just kind of lost me there. Don't give me a cut track. Thank you. So this is going to be one of my survival laps where I just try and get the car around at all costs, pretty much. It just doesn't want to... seemingly doesn't want to go around the track very well. Well, I am kind of looking forward to the Kiddlebacker Straight, I guess. I mean, it's... I don't expect this thing to get super quick. I'm going to test for 5th gear. Oh, I was right, it only has 4 gears, which just explains why I'm going 200 kilometers an hour in 4th. I thought it was from that era where all cars had 4 gears and 5th was overrated. Well, your 5th gear was reverse, wasn't it? So I shift down to 3rd there, albeit reasonably briefly, just to keep the car stable over the bump. The same reason I extend 2nd coming out, it's just keeping the car stable. It seems to be priority number 1 of getting a lap here at all. As demonstrated by the car suddenly deciding to veer like that. This is the kind of lap that I can easily probably cut 30 seconds off if I had a few hours of just running around constantly trying to learn the track perfectly in this car, learning what this car likes and dislikes. But I mean, that's not what Project Hell is about. It's about me jumping into cars and seeing how fast the first lap I can complete is. That's the entire challenge, is complete a lap in every car. It's not, get a top 10 time in every car. Oh, got a cut track. So that's going to be a 1st gear corner, I think. Alright. What I'm going to do is I'm going to warm the brakes. Just cruise along at 110-ish. Warm up the brakes. Can I change the bias? No. Alright, off we go, we'll launch. Warming the brakes does seem to have helped the tires. Downside is they're going to cool off very quickly. Unless I just keep tapping them like this, the brakes are going to cool off super quickly. I'm pretty sure this thing has drum brakes on as well instead of discs, which will explain to an extent why the braking performance isn't quite there. Drum brakes are rare to see now, but they're still a thing in some cars. Most of them go for the disc method, which is more efficient and actually gives you better stopping performance. Alright, let's get this thing going as quickly as possible. Okay, down to third. There we go. I'm having to concentrate super hard on just where the car is going and just feeling out the force feedback to see what the car is trying to do. It does seem like warming the brakes before I started the lap has helped with stability. Not sure if that's true or not, but it does seem that way at the very least. Because I mean, they're still up at temperature. And the car does seem a lot more stable now that they're performing near peak performance on all four tires. There's a part of me that's wondering now if the issues I was having before were somehow related to the rear brakes being cold. Because it is a front biased car in terms of brakes. I guess this is where we'll find out. Could also just been me shifting too early, which is incredibly likely. This thing loves going sideways. Like, it seems almost as if the quickest way to get this thing around a corner is to slide it a bit. Which with 60s tires I guess is about right. Frame rate's now locked at 60. I made an absolute hames of that. V8 Supercar is going to be a lot more intense than this, but the upside of the V8 is it's going to have paddle shift, so I can use that to my advantage. So I am taking this very extremely cautiously. This could be the first lap that takes over 10 minutes. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this could be the only the first and potentially only 10-minute plus lap. Just because this doesn't have cornering ability as such, and it doesn't have straight line speed. So usually the cars have one or the other. This has neither. I mean, we're 6 minutes in already and we're just after exiting the carousel. And I know part of the length we've been going is because I decided to warm the brakes, which are now cooling off. Keep it in third through this section, see how the car performs. I mean, the car's going, it's just not going well. front tires gave up all grip there. Screamed enough. Come on, you can do this, little Ford. Because I'm literally just kind of holding the car on track and trying to guide it where I want it to go. It's kind of doing its own thing a lot of the time. A lot of my inputs are kind of trying to straighten the car out a bit more. Okay, here we go. Through the mini carousel. Don't spin out on me like that. Let's ease off the throttle here so I can turn through. Alright, here we go. Get this thing up to top speed. 200. And 10. And 20 kilometers an hour, I should say. We're over 140 miles an hour apparently, and that's as far as the clock will go on the car. I think we are actually at top speed of about 230. Just gonna let the car wind down here because I don't trust the balance. Come on, little Ford, you can do it. Across the line in 8 minutes 46.537 seconds. So let's just take that time down. So I can get 8:46.537, which is not a bad time. I'll be back in a moment with the Ford Falcon V8 supercar. From the slow to the fast, and from the Escort to the V8 supercar. Now I happen to know this thing is a bit twitchy at times. But it does have a lot of grip to it. So it's just a case of exploiting the grip and keeping the twitchiness to a minimum. So off we go, down towards Flugplatz. This right here is Flugplatz. Just thought I'd take a bit of a cautious brake there. Probably not necessary. And we're going to max out somewhere around the 300 region. There we go, 281. Again, just being a bit cautious around these corners because this thing can be very, very aggressive at times. If you get a bit too aggressive with it, it'll punch you back. It's Australian after all. I mean, you gotta be careful of those things. Okay, don't accelerate on the curbs, ever. It spits the car out in a weird way. Now in reality I would be heel towing this thing. You are supposed to heel tow the V8 supercar when you're downshifting, but I don't like heel towing with a sequential gearbox. This thing just goes off the line. Like, as soon as you hit the throttle hard, it's just gone. You can see why the Australians love these things. I mean, it has pretty good all-around performance. Not, you know, not amazing performance in any one category. It's got good top speed, good handling, good grip, good brakes, but it's not quite Formula 1 levels of amazing. Not quite IndyCar, you know, it's not got Formula 1 brakes or aero. It's not got IndyCar top speed. It's not got a Le Mans body kit on it. But it does just sound and look absolutely stunning. And I have nothing but respect for the drivers of these things in real life. Because they can do this probably twice as quick as me. With less effort. And they wouldn't screw up the carousel. This is a big V8 shoved into a Ford Falcon body kit, and it is rear-wheel drive. It's not quite DTM levels of silly, but I mean it is quite silly still. That said, the V8 supercars are meant to go around Bathurst primarily, so well, the modern ones are at least. Which means it should have all around pretty good performance. He says I'm just trying to keep this thing on the track more than anything else. Because it jumps off every bump. It doesn't like bumps at all, but I mean it's sticking right in there. At a decent speed too. I mean, this thing is just goes like the clappers, I could probably increase the top speed of this thing and it'd still behave around a lot of the corners. So let's see what we actually max out at. 281. And it's bouncing off the limiter, so we might get a couple of extra kilometers an hour going down the hill, but I doubt it. We shouldn't have an issue coming around Lewistime Bridge. Yeah, we're completely maxed. 282 is max. And across the line in 7 minutes 18.058, which is actually quite good. So 7:18:058, and now's where I check the time in real life to see if I've got enough time to do another lap. Probably not, so I'm gonna call it an episode here. I've been Rainbow Dave. You've been watching Project Hell and Project Cars until Saturday, which is going to be our next Project Hell stream, and one of the last, where we'll bring out the Mustangs. That's my plan, at least. The Mustangs and the Capri. I forgot about the Capri. Oh God, the Capri. Yeah. Until then, stay safe and goodbye.